The Caesar of Concessions is back with another video for you today. And we're going to be talking about a very important topic, which is the apparatuses used for smashing lemons. We're going to be doing a review on all three major pieces of equipment that you would use to smash your lemons. We're going to be talking about the pneumatic press. We're going to be talking about the manual press, which has a long arm on it, and you pull it down and smash your lemon that way, and the hand press. Now look, I don't make any of this equipment. I'm a vendor, just like you. So I don't know anybody, anything. I can give honest facts and my personal opinion on these pieces of equipment. And I'll tell you what I use towards the end of the video, but this is up to you to make up your own mind and what is best for you. And don't let any manufacturer talk you into buying something you are not comfortable with. So from one vendor to another, here are just the facts to help you make that determination of what piece of equipment is best for you and your family. So without further ado, let's get into what I consider probably one of the most important parts of when I buy any equipment. The first thing I want to know is, what is my investment? And in my mind, how long is it going to take for me to pay off this investment? So I'm not having to worry about how much this piece of equipment is costing me. Okay, so let's start off with this. The pneumatic press, okay? The lemon squeezer, you know those things, they come down, they're ran by a compressor of sorts, okay? Or a generator. Now I looked at a few different places, okay, to kind of get an average ballpark price. These things range, your average price is going to be about $400. And that is before you buy any kind of compressor or anything else for the actual smasher. Okay, so you're talking about $400 just for this piece of equipment. The next piece of equipment we're going to be discussing on price is the manual press, right? It has this long arm and you pull it down and it comes down and smashes half the lemon. You take it out, put the other half of lemon in, and crank it again, okay? Those range anywhere from 150 to $200. So let's just say $175 for that. And then the next piece of equipment we're talking about is the hand press. Now there's two types. There's a plastic and a metal. The plastic will run you $3, which I do not recommend. I'm not going to be giving any recommendations in this video except for this. Do not buy the plastic one. It'll break on you rather quickly. Buy the metal one. The metal one will run you $10. Now, the metal one, depending on how much the cost of your lemonades are, ours are about $5. So I can sell 2 lemonades and have that equipment paid for like that. The other ones are a lot pricier, which means I'm going to have to sell a lot more lemonades just to break even on that piece of equipment, okay? So there's pricing structure on how those three are broken down. Now, reliability. I may catch some flack for this video because people are in love with whatever piece of equipment they're using, and that's fine, that's great. You should love the equipment you're using, because if not, I don't know why you own it, right? So reliability. Well, the most reliable, in my experience and from thousands of other vendors I've talked to through the years, has to be the hand press. Why? Because it's got one pin that operates it, and you squeeze it with your hand. And when it breaks, right, after multiple years of use, you buy another one for $10. So number one on the reliability category that I'm ranking these on has to be the hand press. Number two for reliability is the manual smasher. Why? Well, as opposed to the pneumatic press, there's less parts to break on it, right? I don't have one right here to show you, but if you're familiar with that piece of equipment, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You got a couple nuts and a couple bolts and a basket which holds your lemon, right? Those bolts can get wore out over time. The acid from lemons, believe it or not, will break down some portions of that, and you may have to replace those screws in your nuts. But that's it. That thing should last you longer than any of the other two pieces of equipment. But they can break down. You got to put lube on them, and then they will break down more than a hand press. Now, as far as a pneumatic press goes, it has a lot of moving parts, guys, and you got to have a compressor with it. So a few things have to work right all the time for this piece of machinery to work. And that has always worried me because we do a lot of volume. I'm not saying I do more volume than anyone else or less volume than anyone else, but we do a lot of volume. So I've been uncomfortable with ever purchasing this piece of equipment. Number one, the price. And number two, I don't know how reliable that will be. And if it breaks down, if O-rings break and different things break down, and particularly in the middle of a busy tournament, I do not want that thing breaking down. And I know the hand press, if it breaks down, I got another one over there that I've already bought. Or if I have to, I can run to Walmart and buy another one for $10. I can't go out and buy another pneumatic press straight away. So for reliability, that is third on my list. Now for smashing power. Now this is a big deal to some people, right? How much juice you're going to get out of that lemon. And I think it's minuscule between the three, but it is a something we should rank because that is important to some people, okay? Which one of these three gets out the most juice? Well, that's got to be the pneumatic press, right? It's coming down. If you've ever seen those things work, they do produce a lot of juice. Now, how much more? If you were to have a pneumatic press, a manual press, and a hand press all next to each other and actually did those three to see which one would produce the most juice, I would say, the pneumatic press would produce the most just because of the pounds per square inch that it can press. Now, if you're a big, strong fella, which I am not, and you had the hand press, maybe that could produce more juice than a manual press. I don't know. But I think the pneumatic press is going to produce more juice versus the other two. Next in that category, number two, will have to be the manual press. With the big arm, it's leveraged. You can really get down on that thing and hump it and really press and squeeze that lemon to oblivion. But I don't think it produces as much as the pneumatic press. Now, third on that list of producing the most juice would have to be the hand press. I just don't see it creating as much as the other two. Now for the show, this is really, really important to a lot of people. And for some reason, they got to have their machine make the show for them or it adds to their show. So right away, the pneumatic press wins that. Kids are attracted to watching that thing come down and come back up, and heck, maybe some adults are even. And then that has to come in first. Second on that show has to come in with the manual press. It probably produces a little more show than the hand press. They're probably tied, but I'm just going to give it to that manual press because, you got to crank it down a little more and the juice will come out. And for some reason, that may produce a better show than the lowly hand press. Okay? So pneumatic press is one that category. Now, for ease of use, man, it's got to be the pneumatic press, right? You just press a button or maybe even a foot pedal, and that thing just comes right down for you. Doesn't take any manual labor whatsoever. So for ease of use, pneumatic press is definitely the winner here. Second on ease of use is the hand press. Yes, it's way easier than the than the manual press. And when you do 1,000, 2,000 lemonades in a day, the hand press doesn't nearly affect you physically as much as a manual press. That thing works on your triceps, your biceps, your shoulders, your back, your feet, your legs, I mean, towards the end of the day, you were so freaking tired from doing all those lemonades, you're putting everything you've got into smashing those lemons with the manual press, and it can take a toll on you physically. So that is definitely third on my list. Customer service. What I mean by this is if you're to buy this piece of equipment and it breaks, what kind of customer service are you going to get from the manufacturer? Well, that's got to be number one, the pneumatic press. I keep getting all my presses mixed up. The pneumatic press has the best customer service. They're typically made by individuals, right? When I say companies, I mean these individuals, and you can contact them directly about the problem you're having. You know, I don't know the response time to that, but that is better than the other two. Now, the other one, let's say you buy it from Gold Metal. Well, you probably have to send an email, and that's going to take some time to get a response, and then you're not going to get one right away if it breaks or you have a problem with it. On the third, you know, it's probably made by some Chinese factory on the hand press. You're buying it from Walmart. You're not going to get any customer service from that. If that breaks, throw it in the trash, go buy another one for $10. You're going to waste your time trying to figure out how to replace that if it breaks early on you, okay? So for best customer satisfaction, that's got to be the pneumatic press. Now, what does the Caesar of concessions use, and why do I use it? Well, I'm going to tell you what I use and what I've used from almost the beginning. The first one we bought was the manual smasher, right? I think we paid a couple $100 for it. Man, that thing wore me out. And I got tired of always having to clean out all the pulp and stuff and the seeds that always got caught up in the strainer. It just slowed us down. And I was just plumb wore out after using it time after time. So my wife, being the smartest person I've ever met in my entire life, bought a hand press. And we have never, ever looked back from there. You can't beat the price point for us. It doesn't matter the volume. We could sell 5,000 lemonades in a day. As long as a smashing person is capable of squeezing a lemon, you are fine. It hardly ever breaks. Guys, I have our original still to this day that we bought. And I don't know. And that's like 14 years going on. I don't know. And it hasn't had to be replaced. Now, we bought others, multiple others since then. But that has never had to be replaced. It still works. And hundreds of thousands of lemonades have gone through that thing. And I've never had to replace it. And what was my initial investment? $10. I mean, for us, how can you beat that? You can't. I mean, it's paid for itself so many freaking times over and over and over again. You can't beat it. Now, these are just my thoughts and what's best for my business. And you need to make a determination what is best for you and your business. But for us, that has worked best for me. Now, if someone would like to drop in a comment and tell me why I'm wrong, I would be happy to listen to that and see what you think. But my biggest fear is the pneumatic press, which I've never owned, by the way. Can't keep up with the volume, and I'm worried about the price tag and what happens if it breaks or something happens to the generator, you know, while I'm in the middle of a big event. That has always scared me off on buying that piece of equipment. This is the Caesar of concessions. Out.